Welcome back. Welcome back, students. It's yet another lesson. It's yet another day that the Almighty God has granted us. I want us to learn through Business Studies Form 2, and today is our 8th lesson. And we have been talking about this topic here, known as transport. The subtopic, we are still talking about the modes of transport. And today I just want us to look at the pipeline. Then I am Mr. Mboya as usual. Before we move any further, let's look at the lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, what should the learner be able to do? Basically, we're just going to look at the demerits, which are advantages and demerits of the means of transport under land, of which pipeline we have talked about. Then later we'll be talking about water. Water is also another mode on its own. We have land, water, and air. So we will also introducing water after that. Last time we were talking about land, then land as a mode, then we are talking about means under land. And let's finish up with talking about the pipeline and transport. Very simple, very simple, very simple. So at the end we will find these notes. We know what pipeline is, that I introduced what pipeline is. In Mombasa we also have pipeline and transporting liquids, solids. I think I introduced this in the previous lesson, and we understand what pipeline is. So let's look at the advantages of using pipeline transport. What are the benefits of using it? One, it saves labor cost since it requires minimal workers. Because they are using pressure. We say that they use pressure and force of gravity at the source to pump the liquid, to pump the gas from the source to where it is required. So it requires little effort. Minimum little cost. There is no amount, there is no large amount of money required in doing that. Then the next, it may not cause environmental pollution. It may not cause environmental pollution since it is noisy and since it is not noisy and also smoke free. It does not produce smoke, that is not also noisy. So that may make it something good to be used. Then the next, in the screen you can see pipeline can pass in places where other means of transport cannot pass, especially in slopy areas. So slopy areas are places where you cannot level them, maybe to construct transport easily, or to construct a road easily. So those slopy pipeline can use that. You understand? So that makes it suitable means of transport to be used. Then the next, pipeline transport allow continuous flow of liquids being transported. This continuous flow of continuous flow of what? Liquids being transported. So that is also another advantage of pipeline. Then the next one, it reduces road damage by reducing the number of tankers on the road. If you transport oil using pipe, then that means that we don't have tankers on the road, leading to damages on a nice big road. You understand? So that's an advantage of using pipeline also. Then the next one, it reduces the number of accidents that may occur that may be caused by the tankers on the road. Because the oil that being transported from the pipeline, you will realize that there will be what? The chances of accidents always being caused by the tankers on the road being reduced. That's another advantage of using. Then another one, it delivers liquid in time. Since there is no delays along the way, it always delivers it in time because there is no, it is being pumped by the pressure. There is force of gravity. There is machine pumping that oil, there is liquids. There is machine that pumping that gas. So it's always reached its required place in time, and therefore because there is no delay along the way. Then the next one, maintenance cost of pipeline is relatively low. It is low to maintain. That also makes it another advantage to know about that. The next one is that pipeline transport may not be affected by the adverse weather conditions. It can pass whether it's raining or it is not raining. Any environmental condition might not affect the pipe because what is being transported is inside the pipe. Let's look at the disadvantages or demerits. What are the demerits of using pipeline as far as transport is concerned? And what? And Undetected what? Undetected leakage may result into huge losses. If there is an undetected what? If there is an undetected leakage, if the pipe was having a leakage somewhere along the way, then it was not detected, then it may lead to a lot of loss. The oil may spill to that land. The oil may form a formula river in that land. So that may lead to a huge loss if we didn't detect that there is somewhere the pipe is leaking. So that is a disadvantage. Then the next, initial construction cost of pipeline is high. When you want to construct it, that initial cost is very high. Then the third one is that accidental leakages may cause environmental pollution. If there is a leakage as an accident, then it may cause environmental pollution based on the soil where the oil is what? Flowing through, or maybe let's say that it was a gas, then a gas, the pipe is what? Leaking. Then that gas will go to the environment, and you understand how it will affect the environment in terms of pollution. So that is a disadvantage. The third one. Then the next one, it travels only in one direction. It always travels only in one direction. So that means that you cannot have a two-way traffic whereby one goes back, another one goes to where it's supposed to go. So it's always only traveling in one direction. If a pipeline is pumping water from Mboya to Nairobi, it is only one direction. You cannot give the same pipe pumping water, pumping maybe oil, or pumping maybe another thing inside that same pipe to Mboya. So that's the disadvantage. Then the next, it can transport only one product at a time. It's always transport one kind of product at a time. And that is the disadvantage of using pipeline. And the next one, it is not flexible. This is because the pipeline, once laid, cannot be adjusted to fit the desires of them. It cannot fit the desire of what? The transporter. So that makes it not flexible. You cannot make it according to desire. You cannot make it according to what you require. If you want to transport any product, you as a transporter, you just go there, the product will be transported according to the sets standards of it, according to how they are designed to transport that kind of product. You cannot manipulate it in your own desire as a transporter. So that's another disadvantage, because it might lead maybe to some distraction on your part as a transporter. So that is it. The last disadvantage coming with the pipeline is that it contributes to unemployment, since it requires few workers. When we are using pipeline and we don't require workers, and that is a disadvantage. It may lead to unemployment in the country. So after that, let's look at advantages of transporting oil by pipeline rather than road in Kenya. Why has Kenya find it effective to transport oil from Mombasa to Nairobi, from Mombasa to Kisumu, using pipeline rather than roads? Then let's look at one, reduction of transport cost. There is a reduction in transport cost, which is kind of cheap, relatively cheap. Then the next, loss of oil through accidents on road is reduced. There are some times whereby there is loss of oil on the road. Then when you use a pipe, then those losses are being reduced, because you're sure when oil is being transported through the pipe. The third advantage of Kenya transporting that through pipe is that costs of theft of oil are reduced. There are some of the people who always steal they steal the oil, or they always hijack these tankers on the roads and they check out the oil. So that is being reduced when you use the pipeline. Then the next one is there is less damage on the roads, since a few tankers are on the road. If you use pipeline, that means that tankers, or there will be less tankers on the road. And those tankers, they always destroy the road which has been constructed because of their heavy weight. Their weight is very heavy onto the tarmac road, and that leads to destruction. That's why we find that most of our roads are having some of the holes on them, because of tankers that pass in the same road, similar. In the next, to ensure regular and reliable supply of oil. Pipeline ensures regular and reliable. You can rely on it, and it's regular, continuous. Then the next, it reduces the environmental pollution. When you use pipeline, then anything to do with environment will be in terms of noise. When you use tanker, there is noise. When you use what? When you use tanker, there is noise. When, let's say that maybe, yes, there is noise, but when you use pipe, there is no noise. The oil move easily required to the destination, but let's put this into good. Then the next, large volume of oil is transported at a given time. So through pipe, large volume of oil can be transported as compared to other means of transport. Then let's introduce ourselves to water transport. I want us to make this at the end of this first video. Let's talk about water transport to what? In the next video. Otherwise, thank you.